Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today we're joined by Derek Stern, founder of Revenge Body Fitness and Nutrition, where he helps clients transform their bodies and lives through combined training and nutrition programs. Derek's mission is to empower people to reclaim their confidence, health, and strength. Derek, very warm welcome to Founders Future. Thank you for joining me.
Wonderful to be here.
Okay, amazing. So with all my guests, I like to start at the beginning of their journey. So what was it that you was doing before you started up Revenge Body Fitness and Nutrition? And then what prompted you to start up a company from there?
Well, interestingly enough, I had been training people since I started getting into fitness ever since I was 18 years old. I kind of got the bug. I was very fortunate because I started going to a gym right away that had what ended up being an 8-time Miss Olympia. It was a very high level of fitness. Her name was Kim Shavezky. She's still around. Her husband, Chad Nichols, is also a trainer to the stars. So they actually worked out at the gym where I worked out at. I did not know what level that they were going to be at, but they had a lot of their friends that would work out with them. So even at a young age, I was kind of trained, if you will, by top level athletes.
Nice.
I got the bug right away. I saw how passionate they were and what kind of energy they brought into the gym and fitness areas. And it was electrifying to me at a young age. Through some setbacks back and forth, as everyone has, the journey of life is never linear. It's kind of that up and down roller coaster ride, if you will. I had always trained people and made up fitness regimens. I also made up meal plans. I wasn't qualified to do any of these things. This was before I had any type of certification or schooling at all. It was very fascinating to me about the changes of the body because we're ultimately in control of that ourselves. No matter what diet programs or exercise programs someone gives you, the gym never lies. If you're not following something, you could say you're the world's best athlete in this or that, but until you get on the playing field, it's all just talk, right? So I was doing these things. I was not charging anyone for it. I was just that passionate about it. I was making these meal plans and these workout programs for people and printing them out on my old computer, because I'm 52 years old, giving it to them, and it's funny because as I was moving just recently, when I was telling you before we started recording that I just did a major drive from state of Washington down to Texas. I came across some boxes that had some of those old printed out sheets that I was making for people, and I smiled and read through a lot of that stuff. Fortunately, I didn't give them a lot of bad advice. I'm very happy about that. It was it was pretty apropos with what people should be doing in the gym. But it was basic stuff. But I think for a lot of people that is a good place to start. Just the basics. So I think a lot of issues that people have is that they get overwhelmed when they get into the gym or into fitness, especially if they've never done anything before, because you talk to 1,000 people and 1,000 different people are going to give you different programs and diets that they tried and things like that. It's overwhelming for anybody. So what I have done is simplified that for people. I love gym newbies, if you will, that term that people are just brand new to the gym or never tried something like that before. And I have been very successful, fortunately, in indeed transforming their bodies and their lifestyles. They're texting me, praise all the time, and like, oh, Derek, I couldn't have done this without you. I said, listen, you did all of this. This is your journey. I am just the guide. You climbed up this mountain, and I want you to continue climbing. You're not there yet because I want you to be absolutely the best version of yourself. But along the way, they're gaining confidence. They're gaining love back for who they are. They're walking a little bit straighter when they walk into rooms, and they're smiling more. And there's even some that have that started podcasts and things like that,
Love it.
such as yourself, just because they were too scared to go on camera because a lot of them, noticed that this box here is, they call it the sexy area, right? Like this is where people have to really, feel good about themselves. And so a couple of them even started going on camera more, which really warmed my heart that they're, experiencing these types of side transformations, if you will. It's not just feeling better, maybe living a little bit longer, being more active with their kids. It's also just the confidence to go on camera, So.
Love it. It's so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. And for our listeners, just because you dropped your age there, 52, Derek does not look a day over 40. So
Oh,
just to
thank you.
check on the
Thank
health of
you.
this man.
Appreciate that.
So that's really cool. But yeah, Gym Newbies is a great one. I'm lucky enough to have had previous experience working out from a very young age as well, much like you said yourself. And it was one of the, I suppose, naiveties, I'm going to put it on my part, when I started training with my friends and working out and realizing people that didn't have that knowledge to start with, there is so much noise to cut through and so many people
Oh,
telling
yeah.
them what to do and what not to do and this and that, and just the simplicity of no, just go to the gym and start from there. And then
Yeah,
seeing newbies results after they realize it is such a nice, simple process if someone helps them do that, it's so rewarding.
absolutely. Literally, the hardest battle that a lot of these people face is stepping into that gym in the first place.
Hmm.
Once they get in there and they realize that not everyone's going to laugh and judge them, that's actually a syndrome. It's called the imaginary audience syndrome, and
Yeah.
it's something that was actually taught to me through schooling to get here. Is that everyone thinks that they're walking in the gym and everyone's pointing and laughing at their physique and things like that. It's there's listen. There's always going to be some jerk. Okay, no matter where you go, there's going to be some jerk. They don't belong in the gym. They don't belong in in that type of space because everybody in the gym is trying to be a better version of themselves. Matter of fact, it's very important to note that when someone's going into the gym, it's really a community. And if you ask somebody for help, 99.9% of the time they're going to help you.
Yes.
By human nature, we've all been taught that the best way to correspond with somebody, to have a communication with somebody, is just to ask, hey, can you help me? Because our human nature is going to kick in and want to help that person. Once they get in there and they realize and here's the other thing too. I was actually a one-on-one trainer. They call them hybrid trainers, where you train online and in person, and I still
Yeah.
am one of those. Now that I just moved here, I just had someone reach out from this area that wants me to train them. So fantastic. But one of the things is that when we're training in person, is that uh, you know uh, people need to understand that everyone there, every single person in the gym is going through something. One person just had a divorce. One person just found out their kid has cancer. One person just lost their job. Blah blah blah. We're all trying to work something out when we're. So
100%.
my best advice to people is, no matter what you're going through, be nice to everyone in the gym because everyone there is working through something. So
Yeah, 100%. I would even stretch that to further in life, but definitely so in the gym. Everyone's there for their own reason. And also everyone's been new. So everyone
yeah,
knows
that's right.
there it is. Everyone's been there for themselves,
Absolutely,
it's a community, as you said, it's everyone wants to be part of the same community and help
absolutely.
like have the joy that you get from working out. Like the
Yes.
buzz, the experience, just
Yeah.
real good feeling you get from it at the end, that's just all we want people to get. Love it.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And let's face it, no matter how badly you beat your body up there, because that's what we do, right? We're creating micro tears in the gym. So this is why our muscles get all big and inflamed. They call them the pump, and basically what we're doing is we are getting a water and everything into the and blood into the muscles, and it's creating little micro tears. And that's where the lactic acid comes in, and it causes that burn. Feel the burn, right? And then we're not actually growing in the gym. We're actually we're purposefully damaging our muscles in the gym, and then we grow through nutrition and sleep. So that's why one of the important things I always tell people is you have to sleep. You're not you could work out 5 hours a day, which we all know that's overtraining anyway. But you can work out 5 hours a day. and you're not going to see any results if you're not sleeping. In fact, you're going to be going the opposite direction. You're going to be hurt a lot, and you're going to get smaller, and because ultimately resistance training is about making that skeletal muscle bigger and stronger and leaner, and that is what operates everything. And when people talk about burning fat or whatever, there is nothing else in the body that's going to burn your fat except for muscle. That's it. That's it. So that's why it's so important. The three main components of fitness, and this is something I cannot emphasize enough. I've told all my clients this. I've told anyone that I've talked to is resistance training for muscle building. Then you have mental health, which is extremely important and undervalued. Yes. And then you have nutrition. Whatever you're putting in your body, those three areas are the pinnacle of health. So but there is a fourth that is just that I am going to be starting to add, and that is sleep. If you don't have sleep, none of this matters, really.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah, rest and recovery are actually top priority when it comes to actually working out. As you say, 5 hours a day, you just anyway. I could talk about it all day long. I want to jump into what the business model looks like itself, so that the listeners can have more context moving forward.
Sure.
So, who would you say is your ideal customer off the back of that?
So I train everyone from the endurance athlete, people that run marathons. I have some people want to step on stage for the first time. One of my clients started, he used to be a power lifter, and now he wants to go over, those guys were the big bulky ones. And by the way, just a little side note on that, fitness looks different for everybody. On my profile pic online, I have me there with my shirt off, abs showing and stuff like that. I do that because people somehow expect that that's what a fitness trainer is supposed to look like, and that's what I do look like. However, there are different areas of fitness for everybody. I am not going to look like the ideal physique for somebody that wants to be a power lifter. If they come around, they see me and I'm lean and muscular, they're gonna be like, that guy can't deadlift a lot. And you know what? They're right. But I know how to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know how to do it. I know how to do the form correctly. So I could still train them. However, my ideal client typically is somebody that has the will to transform. And I know this is kind of vague, but it's true. There are people that come to me and that they want me to do it all. Okay. Mm-hmm. And here's the deal. I can only guide them, as I told you earlier about being the guide up that mountain. I can only point them in the direction. Okay. I can't force feed them foods. I can't tell them, I can't lay them down to sleep and tuck them in. I can't, lift the weight for them. Okay. They have to put in that effort. And if they're going to go there and not take it seriously and just take a bunch of selfies and say, I'm working out, but not actually doing the job. I would rather not deal with that type of customer because ultimately, as I said, weights do not lie. And at the end of the day, in 3 months, if they have no results, they're gonna be like, Derek, I'm not looking any different. I don't have that many clients that say that, by the way. But that's the type of attitude that I would like to avoid because ultimately they're not going to be the person that is going to reap those rewards. If they just want someone to talk to, and believe me, I've had a few of those clients before where they just, I think that they would like a friend and they want to talk. And you know what? If they want to pay me for that, that's fine. But ultimately, I would rather have those people that have a serious mindset. My whole business model being called Revenge Body, we all know that, historically that name stands for those post-breakup bodies, right? Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm going to show my ex what they're missing, right? I do have those clients that are like, hey, I'm showing up at my class reunion. This is a true story. Someone has a class reunion coming up at the end of the year. They're like, I have a couple exes there, man. I want to show them, woo, and you know what? That's great, But what I look forward to is that same person. I want her, particular person's or her. I want her to feel so good after that class reunion that she now developed a lifestyle of being that person that she's proud of. That ultimately brings me more joy. The people that have more confidence now to go on those podcasts or Zoom meetings where they're not just putting a blank screen, that brings me more joy than any amount of weight lifted or anything else in the, like that right there. I if I could afford it, I would do this job for you. That's how much I love this job. When I see those types of results and those people that just completely transform their body. So revenge body, yes, it means post breakup in terms of our catchphrases and fad words and things like that. But really, ultimately, what that also signifies is revenge against that person that you were 10 years ago that was too shy to go on camera or too shy to go out and try to meet somebody or become social or that couldn't get off the couch and didn't feel like they were being the best father or mother that they could possibly be because they didn't want to go out in a bathing suit into the pool with their kids, things like that. That is what the attitude is that I want people to bring. So that is my ultimate customer, someone that is truly focused, and nothing brings me more joy than those people that are like, I am so pumped for the workout today, blah, blah, blah. Because I get that all the time from my clients. They'll text me and they'll say, oh, I'm going to be doing this. I'm so excited. And I'll give them a little tweak where I'll say, hey, that's amazing. This is great. Try this while you're doing that. Or, hey, I saw your form on that last video you sent me. Twist your arm a little bit more this way when you're doing this, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, good job. You're looking so good. So these types of people are my ideal clients. I'm just so happy that, the ones that really, truly want to make a change, that don't just want to say, well, I'm going to a trainer, so, hopefully he'll be able to shape my body, that's not the attitude I want. I want them to take accountability and say, I am going to do this with his instruction. So
love it. Yeah. So the people that want to make a change for themselves as well, they've got to want to do it. It's not just running through the motions,
Absolutely.
The empowerment that can come through exercise, like just by little changes to your life, to your mindset, to your body, like sleeping enough is a big one when it comes to that, literally as you touched on before. But the empowerment that it can bring in the scenario, you put a woman that is running through, okay, the motivation before that might have been revenge, but the feeling she got after that, like to continue that on and know that she should have done that 10 years ago. Like that's like the memories, they're the great ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just recently helped, as you were saying about 10 years ago, I just recently helped somebody lose 100 pounds, and she is in her 70s. And so it is not too late for anybody to do this, and let me tell you something. I was actually fortunate enough to train her in person, and people would stand around and watch her because she started I had her doing box jumps, where you're actually jumping onto a box. And now, given it was only 6 inches tall, but for a 70-plus-year-old woman to sit there and do box jumps where she had trouble walking in, she could not lift one arm over her shoulder or over her head when she started with me. So she was quite a challenge when she started. But now she was at the very end, she was doing shoulder presses, with weights. And she was box jumping, and she was hobbling in to see me on her first 2 weeks of working out. So it can be done. Without your body is so geared to recover. Our body is such an amazing machine that it consistently repairs itself. And there are so many people that are not giving their own selves or their bodies enough credit, and could really make a change if they wanted to. It's really about mindset. There's always limitations for everybody. No one's being made perfectly. Some people have been through horrific injuries, things like that. But you know what? For the most part, a majority of us could treat our bodies better.
Yeah. 100%, 100%. I want to shift gears a little bit and get back into the business side of things before
Yes, please.
So how do you go about acquiring your customers? What channels and methods do you find most effective?
I love this question. And the reason being is that I paid a lot of money to a coach that coaches coaches. Okay. And I did not take a single word. I couldn't do what she wanted me to. In fact, it just did not agree with me at all. And I realized that a lot of these online coaches are doing this type of client search and client pursuing, and it just does not work with my style. And what that is Olivia, they want me to pursue people through DMs. Okay. And now here's the deal. DMs are an amazing avenue for social media because you could connect with people.
Yes.
So I'm not discounting DMs. However, the entirety of this coaching, I thought they were going to coach me to be a better coach. And sure. Because I feel, even though I feel I've seen the results with people, I've only received praise for my thing, which is amazing. I'm so thankful because I could easily get criticism, and it would devastate me. But as long as it's constructive criticism, I'll take it. But I know I'm a good coach. Okay, so when instead of teaching me how to be a better coach, she was teaching me and a variety of others. She's making a ton of money on this. How to pursue people by cold DMs in their social media programs. So basically, not even warm DMs where people show interest first. Nope, it's just about pretty much like zooming in on people that are unsuspecting in their DMs and kind of convince them to give you thousands of dollars. And they call them high ticket, And you know what? Anyone that's watching this, that's an online coach such as myself, is going to be pissed at me, right? Okay, because this is how they make their money. And I'm not putting them down. It's just not my style. Okay, it works for a lot of people. Yeah. I tried one person, like I did one person, and I ended up showing the DM. It was a gentleman. I was talking to him about working out, and we got into it. And then all of a sudden, he asked me for an intimate picture of myself. So I was like, okay, that's it, So I showed that screenshot to my group, and I'm like, well, this is where that one headed. So I that kind of validated to me that this isn't the place for me. Like the DM pursuing type of cold call thing. It's just so. I want my results to speak for themselves. I have so I in fact, if and when I decide to take my coaching to a different level and I coach other coaches, maybe when I get more experience, it's going to be 180 degrees different than what a majority, if not all, of these online coaches are doing. Because in fact, the person that reached out to me today, I went on Nextdoor, the app Nextdoor. It's a app. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it or not, but it's an app that basically segregates your neighborhood from other neighborhoods. So basically, just like your tight knit blocks. Okay. It's a nice thing, but at the same time, you can also find out that some of your neighbors are total jerks, right? But for the majority of the part, I just put, hey, I'm new here because I just moved here a couple days ago. I'm new here. I'm a personal trainer and nutritionist, and I'm just happy to meet everyone. I didn't have to say if you need some help or blah blah. I didn't have to put out that. I was just introducing myself, what I do for a living.
Yeah.
And I had someone reach out right away and said, "Hey, I'm so glad you're here. This is my problems. Can you help me with this?" And I'm like, "Thank you so much. Let's talk about this. See if I'm a good fit for you." So, and that's the other thing too. Instead of me saying, "I'm going to be the guy for you," I'll say, let's do a Zoom and let's see if I'm a good fit for you, because I want this to be 100% in their corner. I want them to be the one making all the decisions. I want them to be inspired enough to come to me. I want them to be okay with spending money with me. And ultimately, I don't want any resentment. I don't want them to think, oh, well, since he pursued me, he better be good, and I better get my money's worth, blah, blah, blah. I don't want that type of resentment in the back of their mind. So I love it that they're coming to me because there's already a need. Okay. Yeah. So, and I feel that that's very important. instead of causing resentment. I see all the time on online people complaining about oh yeah, this online coach took thousands and blah blah blah, and he won't give me a refund and blah. That's not me. That's not me. And I'm also charging a reasonable price, very reasonable, about a third of the price of what these online coaches just because I know what my time is worth, and I know that this is a good, it's a good amount for me. I can make a living. I don't have to be like some of these social media influencers and drive around a $300,000 supercar and live in a mansion. And it's like they're doing more posts. Are they not training these people? What are they doing? I'm not saying you don't get any free time, but all they're doing is social media posts. And me as a coach, I'm busy all day. As soon as I get off with you off of this podcast, I'm going to be jumping on calls and making Zoom calls and tweaking diets and workout programs. This is what I do all day long. I don't understand how they have all this time to do all that stuff. But that's, again, I'm not putting other businesses down. I'm just saying that I'm impressed that they must never sleep. These online coaches. So anyway, I'm sorry. We kind of went off on I went off on a tangent there, but that's where I'm at in terms of how to entice and all that.
So you're finding more success in person, organic outreach, as you say, so them coming to you, making sure it's a good fit on both ends.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Yes, I'm embarrassed that I forgot what the origin of that question was, but yes, that's it. It's very organic. It's very just I put myself out there, and they can come to me. I talk to them and see if I'm a good fit for them, and then and see if we can fit in their budget. So
cool. And interesting. So you said you was cheaper than most. So do you mind sharing how much you charge for a session?
Yeah, sure. No, actually, what I do is I charge on a month-to-month basis. Okay, I charge anywhere. I have programs on my website, the RevengeBodyFitnessAndNutrition.com. I have that shameless plug. I have basic programs that they could go on, which my app will devise nutritional guidelines, meal plans, and workout where they'll show videos and things like that. There's even some videos of me in there doing some exercises. And then also the nutritional program is the best in the business, where you can have everything from barcode scanner at the supermarket where it'll tell you what's good and not good and blah blah blah. You could also take pictures of your meal that you just made. It'll tell you to a pretty good degree what proteins and carbs are. It's amazing. I have an amazing app. But that's only $140 to start. Okay, so like when they come if they want the basic plan, and guess what? I'm still going to check in with them every once in a while. I'm still available if they wanted to chat with me, et cetera, et cether. But that's the basic plan. Okay, and then you could of course get the nutritional or the training by themselves. So that would be about either $70 or $90 depending. Nice. But so you get a discount by doing the package for both. But then we have everything all the way up to $550 a month, which is the premier package, and that's pretty much me. I tell them this is going to feel overwhelming because I'm going to be all up in your stuff for a while.
It's an intense process.
Please. Yeah, they're like, bring it on, please. I have no idea what I'm doing. But really, that's so it goes all the way up to $550, but that is still far cheaper than some of these programs. There's online coaches out there that are doing, they're charging a couple thousand a month, and I don't know what they're doing. I've never taken one of their classes, but the fact of the matter is that I think all of us are trying to do the same thing, which is build better bodies, one rep at a time, and one meal at a time, and giving good instruction, and it's really about connecting with the client as well. They if what you're saying doesn't resonate with them and they're not feeling a connection there, chances are they're everything that you're going to say is just going to be annoying to them. So fortunately, I'm sure I annoy some people, but fortunately I've had a really good rapport with all my clients. So.
That's great. That's great to hear. And a great price point as well. It's out of like just curiosity on my part.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider like raising your prices to match the other people? What is it that's keeping you at that low barrier?
Yeah. So funny story is the coach that I originally went to was a little upset that I was as low as I was.
Uh,
Yeah.
well,
You know,
it's a low price point, which is great to see if that's like
yeah.
where you're happy with that.
Well, the reason being is this. I hope that I'm fitting in everyone's budget. And again, my joy is making a living. I don't need the expensive cars. I don't need the mansion. I do need to feel like I could sleep at night when I'm charging for people. So this is my fair point. And you know, and a majority of my clients are. I have a package that's about $280 a month, so about just double of what the basic package is, and that you get a lot more than the basic, but there are some limits. You know, they're not going to get full access to me all the time, but it's certainly enough. And you know that could be good also for those people that kind of know their way around the gym a little bit, you know, and that just need some extra guidance. That's a good price point for them. You know, there's some that just have no idea, and they really need full attention. They're like, I have such a hard time getting motivated. I need you to motivate me, blah blah blah. No problem. That is where that higher point would. But I have been, matter of fact, and there was a gentleman that a media manager, he couldn't believe how low I was. He's like, you're undervaluing yourself and blah blah blah. And I don't agree with that. I think this is a good price point. So
As you say, it's accessible for everybody. They've got entry points where everyone can hit, and if you're comfortable with charging that, then who is it?
yeah. I guess I just don't need what people think that I should need. You know, I don't understand why me driving around a supercar is going to make me a better coach. You know, I just don't. You know, um, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But I guess some people like that. You know, they want to see their pastors driving around in these expensive cars. They're having mega churches. They want to see their fitness coaches, you know, living the high life. And that doesn't make any sense to me. How are you feeling physically? You know, is that person that's training you that you're giving $1,000? How are you feeling? You know, how are you looking in the mirror? Like how do you feel? How your clothes feel? How's your labs look at the doctor? You know, like those are the types of questions I would have for those clients that are paying these guys thousands a month.
No, as you say, fair point, and great that you're looking to help as many people as possible and really
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, with that being said, what is the plans for the future? Are you looking to scale the business and move forward from there? What does that side of things look like? What's the plan?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. I want to employ. You know, when I was working at commercial gyms, I met some amazing trainers, and they became friends of mine. And one of them even became my boss, and he was awesome. And I know what they're paying him. And my goal is to scale and become bigger so I could employ them, you know, and pay them what they're actually worth, which is a lot of money. So that is my ultimate goal. I want to scale big enough where I could hire my buddies and they could make a lot of money.
To bring on the team, and they
absolutely nothing would bring me more joy than being able to have them do what they love. Because a lot of them, you know, and I'm sure a lot of traders, if any traders are watching this at all, watching this interview, that they're going to nod in agreement on this. You know, if you're working at a commercial gym, they do not pay traders what they're worth. You know, they do not. You know, this is a tough job. A lot of times, it's fun. It could be fun, but it's a tough job, and quite frankly, you know, people expect a lot from us, as they should. I think that you know, these gyms that are making, you know, $100+ per session, and they're paying, you know, these traders, you know, the same base salary whether they're trading somebody or not. You know, there needs to be something different going on there. You know, especially, you know, group classes and things like that. I used to teach a TRX group class, which I loved. But so I think you know, me employing those people and paying them what they actually are worth, that would bring me more joy than anything.
Love it. Amazing. And what would you say is the biggest challenge in making that all happen?
Just getting my name out there, just being recognized, and and having people inquire, and and marketing, and all this stuff, because all this stuff costs money. And when you're starting, especially, my online fitness business is newer.
Yeah.
Fortunately, my social media presence is growing, but it's a tough battle, because in the world of social media and online presence, you're kind of just, no matter how big you think you are, you're still just a drop in the bucket. There's so many out there. So just being recognized, and for what I've done, and how I try to help people, I think that would be my ultimate goal. So.
Yeah, love it. And that is one of the biggest challenges, as you say, in a world full of noise, is cutting your way through it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So as a final question before we log out, I want to be respectful of your time.
Thank you.
To our listeners who are maybe just to start their own journey, much like yourself, what advice would you leave them with?
To start their own journey?
Yeah.
One single sentence is what I'm going to tell them. Find your niche. Find your niche. Go niche or go broke. Okay. But the fact of the matter is that those people that try to please everybody will end up pleasing no one.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find a specific market. And if you think that it's too tight of a niche, you're probably wrong. There are people everywhere that do I just saw a chair. I was looking at office chairs because I just moved, so I'm building my office, and I was looking at desks and nice desk chairs. And one of the chairs I came across was a chair by this company that only builds these chairs, but has a chair with a big comfy pad right next to their armrest, and that is for cats. So those people that like cats, they could literally have a cat right next to them, and it is silly as that sounds. I hope they do well. I hope they do amazing, because you know what? We've all been on podcasts before, or hosted podcasts, that there's always someone's cat batting their face, right? When they're doing it, or like trying to go in front. Like, they want attention. And for you to actually design a place right next to them, I think that's absolutely amazing. And I have no doubt they're probably going to be doing well if they already aren't on that path. Just because it's it seems like such a small niche, but people pay billions for their pets, right? And these were kind of luxury chairs, and they're a little bit higher priced. But you know what? Someone will pay it, because when it comes to people's kids and their animal kids, people will pay that money. So find your niche.
Love it. And I love that you used that example, because it was literally the other day, I think it was Monday or Tuesday this week. We're on a Thursday for the listeners. That I had a woman who actually's cat was in the video playing with her face while I was on a podcast with her. So it's true.
Of course.
It's true. And with that is a wrap on another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Derek, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your journey and insight with us.
Thank you.
Another shameless plug, where can people reach out to work with you and connect if they'd like to do?
To reach out to you?
No, to you. Where can they reach out and connect with you if they'd like to do so? To the listeners.
Can you repeat that again? I'm so sorry. There was a truck that drove by right when you said that.
No, I was just saying, give yourself another shameless plug. Where can the listeners reach out to work with you again and connect if they'd like to do so?
Oh, thank you. RevengeBodyFitnessAndNutrition.com.
Love it. Amazing. And also to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future by wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from 0 to 30 million per year in less than. And until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.